Our webinar today is Nuna, and for those that are on today, our objectives for the webinar today are to learn about the current and future development of Nuna brand products, explore developments in the voluntary recall of the Rava platform and the fix that's in place to remedy this issue, and review Nuna's new products and their use and timelines for delivery. So as you heard, we have the pleasure of having Bob Wall on the call today. Bob has been the global safety advocate for Nuna Baby for 13 years, supporting the development, compliance, and customer service teams. He holds a bachelor's degree of education from the University of Wisconsin and is a retired Fairfax County, Virginia Police Department Master Police Officer. While assigned to the International Association of Chief of Police, Bob was a co-author of many traffic safety curriculum, including Operation Kids CPS for law enforcement and the National Standardized CPS certification. Bob was one of the first 16 certified instructors nationwide, and he has been a member of the National CPS Board and closed his second tenure on the board as the chair in 2003. And we are very excited to have Bob on the call with us today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Bob.
Okay, thanks a lot, Steph. And I appreciate everybody taking their time out to listen to the workshop today. And obviously, I am a member, or Nuna is a member of the MACPS, which is the Manufacturers Alliance for Child Passenger Safety. And I know we're all coming up on our busy travel season to go to different states, and we're probably going to see you. So we're going to be on the road. This is kind of my on the road starting out trip. But part of my job or part of my position at MACPS is the chair of the National Child Passenger Safety Hall of Fame. And right now we do have some Hall of Fame members reviewing about 18 people who are nominated for that. And I want to recognize the people who are nominated this year. There are obviously holdovers. When you are nominated for that, you're held for 5 years, and you have 5 years of eligibility to be voted on. So I just wanted to acknowledge the new people who are in the new voting pool, so to say. Lumn Oakland from Michigan, Julie Valise, who used to work at JPMA, now works at NHTSA, Greg Sellers and Kurt Hardestein are both child seat designers. Mandy Summers in Massachusetts, Rick Locker, who is the attorney for JPMA, and as well as Sarah Tilton, some names we know from North Carolina, and Miss Tammy Franks. They're all nominated this year. So they are in that ballot with the people who have, again, been there for a while. So I encourage people that, that Hall of Fame is something that we recognize as people who kind of like lead the way, both in the past and present, and not just advocates, everybody. So again, I want to congratulate those people before I started. So again, we start our road trip, and okay, let's see if this works. Nuna, obviously our road trip has been a while. I've been with Nuna for 13 years, and we came from Europe. We are a brand that's established, in Europe, and we have obviously a lot of pluses, but we do have a full lineup of car seats. We're going to talk about what we have. And the first step on the road trip, obviously, any kind of road trip, the first step is an infant car seat. We have the 4 car seats that we have, which is our infant line, is obviously the Pippa Air, the Pippa RX, the Pippa Air RX, and the Pippa Urban. If the stats are right there on the screen for you, we used to have a plethora of Pippas. At one point, we had 8 different Pippas, but all of these Pippas are currently what we have in the lineup. you're going to see some changes as the standards have started to change and we are updating products. You saw that the Pippa Light was updated and we now have Pippa Air. So you see things phase in and out, and that's just a normal progression of car seats. But now that we have a lot of new standards being put into place, you're going to see some things fluctuate as far as the way things are labeled, the way things are named, and also a lot of weight differentials. You'll notice that instead of going to 32 pounds, obviously these are all now going to 30 inches and 30 pounds. And even the Urban is going to go up to 30 pounds now. In the past, the Urban only went to 22. It is now the new update will go to 30 pounds. You'll notice that all of these are very lightweight in nature. They all have a lot of different premium features. I will say that the Pippa Urban has been quite a popular seat for good reason. It's a very, very easy seat to use. As I go out into the States and do some of these projects, people look at it and say, that's it? Yeah, that's it. That's how it goes in. That's how it comes out. So it's really nice seat to use. Now, obviously, and in my past presentations, I talk about the difference, the RX, and anything that has an R in it will have our relaxed base. The relaxed base, again, is a base. They have rigid anchor, rigid stability or load leg. It also has a panel, which is part of our lock-off feature on that seat. It is also very adjustable. The Pippa Urban is the only Pippa that does not have a base and is not compatible with a base. It is baseless install. We do hear people say, oh, it's not as safe. Guys, just keep in mind that the rigid lower anchors are on this shell and there is no base. So we take out that weight, we lower the center of gravity. This seat tests quite well. So again, everything here, it's being updated. We're introducing all of these refreshes or updates so we meet the new side impact and the 213B standard. We also have a full line of convertible and all-in-ones, and you'll see there we have a lot of them coming soon. Basically, when you see like the Rava and you see coming soon, yes, there's going to be a refresh or an update on all of these seats as we move into our new standards. As the new standards begin to take in effect, we have been working on this for almost a year at this point. So when I say soon, I mean soon. You'll notice that it says timing 2025. That's this year. So you're going to see some of these seats, these new seats coming out. Some of them will be new seats. Some of them will be just updates of the current seat that we have that meets those new standards. You'll notice some of the weights have changed a little bit, not a lot. We start at 30 pounds forward facing, go to 40 pounds on the exec, but really we go to, it's a 65-pound harness seat. Okay, so again, that's all going to change a little bit and it's going to flux as the new standard, but pretty much this is our lineup. We have the Raba, the Rev, and the exec, and you will see refreshes as they come this year. Now, here we get into what people have been waiting for, new seat. We do have obviously our booster, our Ace booster, which is a high back or a no back booster. High back goes to 110, no back goes to 120. And everybody's been asking for it for lots of years, and that is a harness to booster seat. This harness to booster seat is called the Lumn, illuminating highway safety. So again, it is a harness seat that goes from 30 pounds to 65 pounds. It is a high back booster seat from 40 pounds to 110 pounds. It is a very nice seat. The one thing great about this seat is it mimics the inside of a car. I mean, it basically looks like the interior of the vehicle. The part of our, it's kind of hard to say, part of our culture is trying to get past the kids. How do you keep kids in seats? I mean, a lot of times it's the kids that are making the decisions, unfortunately. And the kids are, oh, it's not cool. It's not, they don't want to be in a booster seat. They don't want to be in a baby seat. They don't want to be, so, and that's not new. That's not new news. I mean, we've been saying that for, I've been in this over 35 years, and we've said the whole thing that we need to figure out a way to get these kids bought into this system. We got to make it their big seat, their big kid seat, their style. This seat does that, I think. It's a combination harness to booster. And number one, it grows a lot. It has a lot of, movement. You can go from all the way to 65 pounds with the harness. It does have the leg rest. It also has the side of it is not really fabric. It is just like the interior leatherette, all right, of the car door. Okay. It's absolutely similar. I mean, just like the vehicle seats or the vehicle interior, which makes the kid feel, hey, this is cool for us. It has multiple headrest and recline positions, and keyword, multiple recline positions as well. Not only as a forward-facing seat, but also as a booster seat. The automotive style accents, it kind of creates that appeal. It makes the kids hopefully buy into it a little bit better. All right. It also, it transforms pretty easy into a booster, but it has its own armrest for the child, and they are just like what you would have in your vehicle. So they are just, and what's great about that, it's not, you don't have to take the fabric off to clean that. You just wipe that down. It is very versatile, it's very attractive to see. You'll notice it's very open, both as a booster seat. It's got an open belt path. It's also same as putting it in forward facing. It's very open. You can actually see the belt path even from the front there. It goes, if you look at it, here, it is a 30 to 65 pound seat with the harness, and then 40 to 110 as a booster. So there they both are. There's the configuration. Right now, I believe we have 4 different colors. This is the one that I thought showed better in the photographs. So again, it's a very attractive seat. If anybody has questions, you're going to type those in, and we're going to go over those as we go. So anybody has any issues or questions, please feel free to raise your hand or ask them or whatever. And I know Stephanie's watching this, so she's going to help me out. So, okay, maybe that's not going to work. There we go. It does have a 5-point no rethread harness. There is 9 recline positions. Now, this is, since we're all kind of technical in nature here, this is where we're going to start to see some differences. And actually, you're going to see us trying to promote safety throughout our brand at this point. We are changing our tether requirements. It has 9 recline options, both as a harness and a booster seat when tethered. In other words, we want you to use the tether if it's available. If the tether is not being used, you can only use it in the upright position. That is us trying to say, look, the tether is important. All right, we want you to use the tether. We're telling you that it's better with the tether, and you can recline it freely with the tether. If you're not going to use the tether, fully upright. Again, there's no recline indicator. It's bubble free. It's all been tested in every positions. It has 10 position heights for the shoulder belt. It also, just like everything else we make, it's machine washable, seat pad removed separately, okay, for added comfort. It also is FR free. The thing that's really nice, it is very slim. It fits very easily 3 across in most mid-size vehicles. We can get it actually 3 across in some of the smaller vehicles too. It's got a 10-year lifespan, and it is airline approved with the harness, using the harness mode. Somebody will ask about the tension door, because yes, we do have a tension door with this one. This is one of the seats that we do use a tension door with. All of our seats that go forward facing, we're currently using a tension door. In the airplane, the lap belt for the airplane would go over top of the tension door, not under it. So that's just a little tidbit for everybody who will ask that question. If you look, and this is a little closer look at it, again, that it gives the feel of the interior of a vehicle. The whole feel of this seat is, this is a vehicle seat. This is not a kid's seat. This is a vehicle seat. Just like some of our other products, we have the built-in cup holders, and they are also there. Obviously, in this one, it is not the belt path because this is not a rear-facing seat at all. This is a forward-facing seat. So again, very handsomely done. I have to say, the engineers we'll pat them on the back. We'll do whatever we have to do, but they have done an outstanding job of thinking about, how do I get these kids to buy into this? So when you look at the safety and the comfort, it does have a steel frame and it's reinforced belt path. We do use the Aeroflex side impact protection system, and it uses a lightweight EPP foam that holds it, that minimizes the transfer of energy. So we have that energy management feature that's built right in. This will and does meet 213A and B standards. This will meet both standards. It does meet both standards. It does, again, use a true tension door. So when you have taken the slack out, close the door, you then need to lock the retractor. Okay, it is not a lock off. It is a tension door. It does have open belt paths. Okay, obvious, easy. The one thing that, and I've installed this in lots of vehicles so far, the one thing I don't have any issue with is getting through that belt path. It's very open, very easy to find. It does have push-on latch connectors. You notice I say belt is best. We encourage using the belt because, like everything else, we have to change back to a seat belt at a certain point. This one, when it's being used as a booster seat, yes, that's when you would use the lower anchors to keep it in the vehicle, as well as the tether, pushing that tether. So again, that is something that is there. It does have the armrest for the child inside. They are padded. It's all weather micronic fabric, the whole bit, leatherette wrapped calf support. I mean, it's definitely the top end of your vehicle seat. Now, because this is a new seat, I decided in this presentation, I'm going to do some curbside notes, because I know the questions will be there. And one of the questions is going to be, can we do overhang? Do we allow the Lumn base on those back pickup trucks with the small seat? Can we have an overhang of the vehicle seat? No more, an inch at best, but the leg rest can overhang. So again, we don't want any more than an inch of the front of the seat hanging off. But obviously that's not included with the foot or leg panel. So again, this is all from the owner's manual. These line arts are from the owner's manual. There is okay, as far as the shoulder and crotch pads, they are not required. They are there for comfort and they may be removed. So that's, again, right off the bat, you don't have to use those. There is a seat insert that goes under the padding. and it's only used from 30 to 65 pounds. So in other words, you put it in the seat when the child is, and it's under the padding, you don't see it. It is under the padding and it's there till the child turns, until we turn it into a booster seat. Because when you turn at 65 pounds, you're going to take those harnesses, store them away and make it a booster seat. But when you store that away, you pull that seat insert out as well. It has to be removed when it's being used as a booster seat. You notice I say underline, or big, must be removed. So that's, again, a curbside note that you need to take care of when you get them on the scene. There is, when we start talking about side impact protection, part of that side impact protection as part of that standard is side-to-side motion. So in this 213A, obviously manufacturers, not just Nuna, have had to deal with that side impact motion. How do we control or manage that energy? So in this seat and in many seats that are going to be distributed or produced, there's a body insert that must be used for a child up to 40 pounds. So basically about 10 pounds, or it can be removed when the child doesn't fit comfortably between it. This is a pad that goes in there. So you have a child that's 30 pounds, you put this pad is in there already. You leave it there for at least 10 pounds or until the child has outgrown it, in other words. But after 40 pounds, it can be removed. It doesn't have to be, but it can be removed at 40 pounds. Again, this is all part of that new the FMVSS 213A standard, the side impact. So that body insert needs to be there for at least the 10 pounds. And also when we start talking about the recline, again, I've already alluded to this. There are 9 recline positions and you must attach the top tether to use those recline features. So what you would do is you would set your seat back, your vehicle seat back to where you want to be, and then recline your seat the way you want to be. But you have to use the tether correctly according to the vehicle manufacturer. So in other words, you use that tether, you can use any recline you want. Here's the recline mechanisms. Right in that, again, big open belt path, but right in that belt path, there is that piece that you squeeze and that reclines the seat, that lets the bottom come down and you can recline the seat. Again, recline it only if you're using the tether. If you are not using a tether or there's no tether anchor available in that seating position, you have to use it in the fully upright position. Okay. So that's what's happening here. Now, when we start talking about curbside enhancement, guys, tether use required, and I alluded to this a little bit earlier. All of our seats forward facing that have a recline or tether, or the Rava, the Exec, the Lumn, you're going to start to see a phase in over this year. You're going to see the instructions start to change, and it's going to say the exact same thing I just said about the Lumn. It's going to say, if you're going to use the Exec, all right, with the tether, you may use any of the reclines. If you decide to not use it with a tether, it has to be in the fully upright position. And that's going to be with our Rava, that's going to be with our Exec, that's going to be with our Lumn. Obviously, the Rev is a different animal. You're going to use that tether no matter what, rear facing or forward facing. Remember that tether goes over that top handle. So again, emphasis on that tether use, trying to keep that, the upper body back. So as far as the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard compliance timelines, you're going to start seeing some updated products, like for the Exec will probably be summertime this year. The Rava will be late summer of this year. The Rev, you're going to see an update of the Rev this summer as well. Currently right around, spring, April-ish, first quarter of 2025, that's when you'll see that Urban with the new max weight of 30 pounds. You're going to see that out on the streets. So again, that's our timeline for our compliance timelines and our updates, as well as our new seat. Now, when will this new seat be out? The Lumn's scheduled to be introduced to the public, April Fool's Day. Here we go, April. So don't be a fool, buy it. Just like I said, it's April will be how we're introducing the Lumn as far as open to the public will be April. So some of the burning questions that I get, and I know it's going to be some of the questions here. Will the Urban be available as a standalone? Right now, no, it is not. That does not mean that might not change by the end of this year, or right now it is not. As far as there are more travel systems that it's available with now. We do have several, new strollers and different things that the Urban is available. So the Urban is available on like 8 different strollers at this point. But as far as being a standalone, that is yet to be seen. The inserts and pads, the minimum, somebody's always asking me, can we, lower minimum weights down underneath, 5 pounds to 4 pounds? And right now we are only doing that on a case-by-case basis after a fit review. We are not going to lower that weight on a wholesale scale. We're going to keep it at where it is right now. As far as the pads are concerned, the harness pads, we are discontinuing. There won't be any hip pads on the updated versions of the Rava and the Rev. Because a lot of people are just not using them, or they just find them cumbersome. So again, that's going to be some of the changes you'll see this year. The angle recline for the Rava, part of the update or refresh, we're going to change it. Right now we have 5 rear facing positions in blue, 5 red forward facing positions. That's going to change to 4 and 4. So again, we're just combining the, getting rid of the upper, lower, whatever. So we are actually, it's going to be the same angles. It's just going to be, the numbers are going to be different. Now, many of you heard, I know we've all heard this. Rava has a voluntary recall on December 19th. We did have a recall last year during our road trip, 2024 road trip with all the MACPS partners. We talked about the new cover that we had for the Rava, and one of the reasons was to minimize that we're trying to child-proof the A-lock, or trying to keep stuff out of that lock. Well, again, over the years, we've seen that there's been some issues, not with just our products, but lots of products with that lock, where things will get caught in there and then they will be caught there, stuck, and it starts to affect the harnesses. So so we decided, in December, Nuna said, we're going to just fix this. We're going to make a fix. And we've already, over the time, we've redesigned our fabrics and our cuts and all that thing. And we started last year with a new cut on the Rava soft goods. And we said, okay, we're going to just voluntarily do something. So between July 16th of 16 and October of 2023, we basically said, anybody who's registered their seat between that time, we will send you a recall or a fix kit that will help you keep your seat clean. That's a little over 600,000 seats. So basically, owners who have registered their seats, and they still can register them, are eligible to receive a new seat pad, which will be the new cut, which will cover up that lock just a little bit, cleaning kit, and care instructions to ensure the car seat's harness adjusters kept clean and working. Now, part of this kit is a test. I mean, we have it on our website, and we ask people to, you know, tighten the harnesses, put your hand in the middle of it, and pull the harnesses toward you to make sure they're functioning properly. If they are functioning properly, there is nothing wrong with that A-lock. Now, this kit will keep it clean, will help you, give you the tools to clean it. And it gives you an instruction manual on how to clean it. You can continue to use the seat. And a lot of people believe, you know, oh, well, dirt, plain and simple, we all know kids equal dirt. All right. Kids equal dirt. And then you add undescribed whatever, and then it becomes dirt that turns into cement that then gums things up. And that happens. Nobody's saying you can't eat in the seat. And it's not just food. It's actually not a majority of it's not food. So it's things that stick on the kid's feet, and the harness strap goes in and out of that lock, in and out as you tighten and loosen it. It could be particles of dirt or lint or belly button lint or whatever it is that go in and out over time. It builds up. So again, with this kit, it will help you keep it clean. And also, hopefully, that fabric will help keep some of that stuff as that strap goes in and out, gets rid of some of that stuff that carries in on there. If you look at, you know, here's the voluntary recall on the stuff that's not affected, anything after October 25th of 2023 is usually not affected. I will tell you the numbers are quite small of the ones that have been affected. The recall process that we have had was we voluntarily recalled it, working with NHTSA. You know, this is not a, you know, when there's a recall, no matter who does it, it's done with full knowledge of the federal government who sets the standards, and they agree that what we put together will fix the issue, or, you know, everybody is in agreement to get this to work. The letters were sent out to registered owners near the end of January because it took a while, obviously, to get everybody registered, you know, get that all pulled up. The fix kits which included the soft goods, which had to be made, started going out in February. Again, many of the seats out there that have been returned to us are not even affected. A lot of this, and I have to thank the technicians for helping us keep this information pertinent and relative, because parents, and I understand, they're worried, oh my God, this is going to fail. If the seat is not failing, if it is working, then it's working. Okay. So all we have to do is make sure it's cleaned out. But when people hear the word recall, that's what happens. So again, this is the slide that I showed all of last year, that showed the difference in the soft goods, and the difference in how I mean, it's the same seat. It's not, the only difference is the soft goods, and that hopefully that soft good piece will clean off or keep some of that debris from gathering on that harness adjuster strap. Now, this is the kit. There's not much to it. It's a screwdriver, it's a brush, it's a hard brush on one end, it's a soft one on the other end. There is like a manual to show you how to do what you need to do. It is the soft goods as well. Like I said, it's all being gone out starting in February. So again, that is out there. Here, you know, again, I don't know how much you want to see of this, but this is the video. And, you know, our brand manager, Sarah Keebler, who is a technician, she is, you know, she basically walked through this, told people step one, how you care for it. At this point, she obviously taking it apart to take the pads off. She's going to show them how to take all the covers off. Actually, I might keep it. I don't know. Go a little bit quicker because you'll notice that she's taking the pad off around that lock off or that A lock off piece. That all comes off. Okay, we pull this out. When you pull this part out, you do not, you pull that harness back through and that tether back through. Make sure that it stays in the place it's supposed to be. Just make sure you take the pad part. Okay. Even the head portion comes off because we send you new soft goods. All right, this is the function test. Tighten it, then push on the back of the seat and pull the harnesses towards you. Obviously, this one is not effective. Okay, it did not slip out, but she's going to go on and show you how to clean it out. In this version of the Rava, the screws are underneath. You would unscrew from underneath. So you put it, reclined it, so that reach that part. Okay. What she's going to do, she's going to undo that piece and then put it upright so she can reach it better. And then she's going to pull that piece out because all that screw does is hold that cover on. Now you're exposed to that lock. And now she's going to take that brush. And while, it's a brush, it also, has a hard piece too, because a lot of the stuff that we're finding in these teeth or in these locks are not just soft material. They are basically stuck in there and glued in there and everything else. So she's showing you push the lock, clean it out, and you do that a few times. You just pull it in and out. You're trying to get all those teeth cleaned out. All right. And then you put it back together. So I don't necessarily, there she's doing the test again. That is the test. You would do that prior to taking the harness off to make sure, I mean the soft goods off to make sure that it's working. If it's working, there, it's not really a worry. And then she puts it back together and we know how that's done. All right. So when you look at it, the defect is because of debris, and the debris has been, again, just not ours, but everybody's seats gets this debris in it. And what happens is it no longer allows those teeth to clamp into each other. Of the seats that were returned to us as we were looking at this, 100% of those seats, after they were cleaned out, worked. This is not, and the part is working. It's just when they get stuff in there, it makes those teeth flat. And when you start looking at some of the junk, there's a kind of a brief list, mulch and wood chips and sand, all right, are pretty big. Rice, granola, things that are sticky, raisins, my goodness. We have had a bunch of stickers and paper. So you get a sticker that's on that harness strap and it gets sucked in there. I like this last one, Operation Game piece. I don't know which bone it was, but it was in there. Pocket lint, lollipops, crumbs. Now, the sticky binder substance, guys, use your imagination. Okay, it's kids. Sticky binder substance. That's a nice term for something wet. I have seen online where dad actually took theirs apart and found tufts of dog hair in there. So again, me, Mr. 3 Lab guy, there's going to be more than tufts of dog hair in there. There's going to be Labradors in there. So again, this is all things that are get caught into these features. Here's what some of it looks like. These are all from us taking things apart. Again, these are all from our lab in Morgantown. So it's something that happens. It's something that we're dealing with. I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate everybody telling people, just keep it clean. Like I said, the total number is very small. But again, one last plug for our pet people. Yes, we do have Tavo is out there. We do have a lot more different Tavo things out there now. The Crispin, which is our kennel type version, goes up to 50 pounds, 55 pounds. It's tethered in, it's seat belted in. And it also, it's very nice products. We are working on getting more of those out there. You will see that Tavo has started to partner with many veterinarian organizations, including some of the vet schools around the country, on Wisconsin. We're in talks with the University of Wisconsin Vet School to work on a study. That's one thing that we are missing in this CPS or the safety world, and that is what kind of data do we have for pets and things like that. So there's a lot to it, but we are still right in the middle of all of the safety innovations and things that are out there. I will say that yes, we do have a technician discount. I know people who were on Facebook over the last couple of days. There was a rogue discount code out there. Again, somebody misusing a code. Those were all canceled. The orders that were in are not canceled, just to let you know. We're not canceling any orders, but those codes are canceled. You do, and I'm sorry that went ahead for some reason. I don't know why. We do have a 40% discount for techs and instructors. Keep it within reason. Yes, you can get as many as you want. Just don't have 70 children in a year. But keep it reasonable. Also, remember, no matter what manufacturer, all of these discounts are a privilege and a thank you to all of you. It is not a right, so please, no matter what discount you get, ours or Joy's or anybody else's, please use it wisely, because we'll lose it. We did lose this discount for a short time at a point. Also, this is something that I have always said, and I've always, yes, I advocate for Nuna, but I advocate for children first. And that is my job, is advocating for children. And, the new data, 31% of the children in 2022 were in nothing. Now I like that number because it's less than it was. It was 40%. But that's still a lot of kids not in anything. So, good, we put them in a seat. Better, we make sure we're using the right seat correctly, and best, we just max out that seat. We just, good, better, best is the goal. I'll take good, especially for that 31%. And it doesn't matter if they're in a Nuna or a whatever, Graco or whatever they're in, just get them in something. So again, I hope that the presentation today helped you. I have some time to answer questions. Again, that's it.
Thanks, Bob. Hey, Bob, I'm going to have you go to your last screen there, and if you can leave that one up for everybody.
I don't know why it changed by itself.
Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah, that way we've got your number and your email if anyone wants to get a hold of you, or if I don't get a chance, because we do have a lot of questions for you. So can you—
I don't know the answer, but
it was a great presentation, and I know you well enough, you will know the answer. So thank you. Marla was just asking once again, Bob, can you remind her of the email for the CPST discount? She didn't get a chance to write it down quick enough and when the screen changed.
Sure. Well, let's try that again. It is info.usa@nunababy.com. When you email them, and actually that's the best way to get them, people. If you want a discount code, you would copy your card, send an email to that email, which is in all of our owner's manuals, and it's online, with a copy of your certification card and ask them for a code, and you will get that. I will say that Tavo is only a 20% discount. You know, gotta baby steps. So
Perfect. Well, we've got a lot of questions. Many of them were the same questions, so I've combined a lot of them together. But to start out with, a lot of folks had asked, can the 30-pound limit for the Pippa Urban be applied retroactively?
no. And that's just, I mean, it probably could be, but no. The label says 22. That's what we're doing.
Great. You've already talked a little bit about the Urban. As of now, it is not available alone. It is part of the travel system. Is there anything else you wanted to say about that, Bob? We had a few questions about that.
I don't know what else to say. It's part of like different travel systems. And, you know, it may one day be a standalone. And I would not be surprised if it's a standalone at one point or another. It's just not happening right now.
And then Grace was asking, along with a couple other people too, the chart that showed the exec, just to be clear that it's showing that it is only used forward facing with the harness from 30 to 40 pounds.
That's wrong. It's 30 to 65 pounds. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
I am
Thank
sorry.
you.
I did notice that. I'm going, wait a minute. How'd that get there?
Perfect. Okay, great.
It's just like the Rava and the exec are the same DNA. Rear facing to 50, forward facing to 65.
Very good. And then a lot of questions came in about wondering about and these are all questions on the Lumn, the maximum seated height, both in the harness and the booster modes.
You know?
You have information for us on
That
that?
has eluded me. You know something? I'll have to get back to you on that, and you can send it out. I actually have just forgot. My mind went a blank. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yep, that's perfectly fine. If you send that to me, or you can always email Bob on the screen there too, and ask him to.
Yeah,
But
give me I mean, I don't have it right in front of me because we got the screen going here, but
okay. And we know our community and we're all there to help. So if anybody is looking it up right now and wants to put it in the chat, go for it. That's great.
I don't know if they can look it up right now.
Okay. All right. Great. And then is there any issue, Marla's asking, with the vehicle headrest pressing on the Lunn's adjustable headrest?
No, not at all. As long as it touches at the top and the bottom somewhere, no, there's not an issue. We don't want it pushing. In other words, make sure that the seat is not reclined, but it's not pushing forward. But yes, will there be possibly some of these built-in head restraints pushing on that piece? It's not a problem at all.
On the chat box, a question just came in about the Urban. Do you have to use the yellow guides on the lower anchor connectors to install correctly, or are they optional?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah, on the Urban, do you have to use the yellow guides on the lower anchor connectors to install correctly?
No.
Okay.
You talk about the belt guides or
yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. And then Nicole was just asking on the Lumn, have you seen at all that the leather gets hot in the sun, or is that not an issue?
No, it's a leatherette. It's just like everything else in the car. Okay. So, I mean, it basically feels like the interior of a car. So, You know, I don't, obviously that is not something that we have experienced at this point, but it's brand new. So I do not believe that's going to be an issue.
Very good.
All right, I have your
Kathleen-
shoulder harness range is 11 inches minimum
Oh,
with
perfect.
the insert to 18.5 maximum.
You want to say that one more time for us, Bob?
Shoulder harness range is 11 inches minimum with the insert to 18.5 inches maximum. Miss Sarah just sent that to me. Thank you, Sarah.
Perfect. Thanks for clearing that up right away. Kathleen asked, is a gap allowed with a non-removable head restraint in the vehicle?
Absolutely, just like all of our other seats, yes. As long as it's touching. See, that's the problem. Sometimes the touching at the bottom is kind of eh. So yes. As long as
Okay.
there's a touch at the bottom, at the top, yes.
And then Jasmine asked, can you confirm that only the PIPA seats have a lock off? Everything else is a belt tensioner.
That is correct.
Good. Denise is asking if the overhang allowance of 1 inch on the Lumn is the same for the booster mode as well.
Yes, that's total seat. That's the seat booster and
Complete
harness.
seat.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then there were a couple of questions about the cleaning kits. And is it possible for technicians or instructors to be able to get that cleaning kit? Can they order one or get one when they're inspecting car seats, that maybe they could have one if it comes in and they would need to help parents and caregivers?
Well, that's a great question. And we've been talking about that. The problem right now with that is accountability. Because we are doing a recall, we have to account of everything that's going out. I can't even get more than one. I wanted to get 3 or 4 to take with me to Lifesavers. And in order to make sure that we account that everybody gets, somebody that has a seat in the field has one, it's going to be a while before we're able to do that. Okay. I would hope in the future that might be something we look at or try to get. And I understand where they're coming from, because I, again, wanted to have some. And I think it'd be great to have at a checkpoint, to have that kit. But honestly, that kit, I mean, we can obviously send you the instructions. The kit is nothing more than a Phillips head screwdriver and a brush. So, I mean, except for the soft goods. Now, we're not going to send everybody soft goods, because, I mean, that becomes problematic, you know, unless they have a seat and they're registered, then they would get the soft goods. But we would not send those to, say, a technician who just wants it to have at a site.
And thanks for including that video on your presentation. I think that was great to be able to see sometimes exactly how to take that apart. So I appreciated that. Rebecca is asking, on the Lumn, is the cup holder the same size of the other seats that you have, or any chance that it's a little bit bigger, that it may fit a cup a little bit better?
You know, I do not know that off the top of my hand. About my head, it might be a little bit bigger, but I'm not sure. I know Sarah Keebler is on here. She might be able to tell us, because she's the product manager in it is. That's what I thought. Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Sarah. It is bigger. I thought it was bigger, but I was not going to answer it was bigger if I didn't know for sure. So
great that she's on there. Thanks, Sarah.
thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. That was great. There are more questions, and we have about 4 more minutes here. Holly's asking, will the Lumn come in lots of different colors, or right now only the car interior color?
No. There's four different colors at this point. So it will have different colors, yes. Caviar being one, obviously. And then the one you saw, and I think there's one stone, but there's 4 different colors, yes.
Denise is asking for the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard compliance dates. Do you plan to comply with both 213A and 213B at the same time.
That's the plan. So we don't have to keep doing things. Just to let everybody know, the four colors are, or the, well, three colors, excuse me, caviar, granite, and cedar.
Good. Is the tether use requirement a retroactive change to previously made seats or just seats made going forward?
You know, it's just seats made going forward. We would like to make, there's no I mean, we can make it retroactive, but that just confuses we're just gonna, as we print it up in the future, that's really the way we need to go with that. Okay. I mean, we start doing retroactive stuff, then they have an instruction manual that doesn't match what we're telling them to do. It's going to be future.
And another question about retroactive, is it retroactive on the removal of the hip pads?
No, it is not.
Okay, okay, all right. And then Paulina in the chat is asking if the Pippa RX has a true lock off or only a true tension door.
All the Pippas are lock offs. It's not called a true lock off. It's called a lock off. All right. So all of the Pippas are lock offs. All of the other seats are tension doors.
And then just a suggestion from Aaron, that could Nuna possibly add the manuals for discontinued models to the website would be helpful.
I'm sure Sarah heard that.